Today on Up at Noon, the Lonely Islander here to talk about being music sensations and renaming Star Wars characters. Jared Leto is going full Joker, but has he gone too far? And Rogue One, should we be worried? Well, probably not. But let's do it anyway. Coming up right now on Up at Noon. What was that? Where did that go? Did you see that?
What happened?
The screen, it like got real flat. Can you guys do that again?
Do that again.
Do it again.
Oh,
look at that.
Cool.
We're getting skinnier.
Ah, yeah.
Max, you're not as tall as
It's
these.
the Up at Noon Live Slim Edition, coming fall 2016.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Up at Noon Live. I'm Brian Altano. This is Max Scoville.
What's up?
Up at Noon is our weekly comedy variety show right here on IGN.com. You don't have to watch it on IGN.
It's not funny. It's mostly the same stuff, so, you know.
I mean, just shatter the expectations right out the gate.
Bullying. Is it cool? You betcha. What, are you going to cry about it, you big baby?
I'm going to punch you in the neck. Don't forget, you can watch Up at Noon on IGN. You can watch it on PS4, Xbox One, Roku, Twitch, YouTube, Apple TV, or Facebook. And feel free to interact with us the entire show using the hashtag Up at Noon Live right there on your Twitter. This is real. This is an actual real live show.
Yeah.
You can ask us stuff and we're going to say it.
Yeah.
We don't have a real sponsor this week. All the money ran out from the last few.
But the good news is that there's a great new thing. It's the probe droids gone wild.
That's right.
Babada system.
They're taking off those hot tops all over Hoth, and it's just getting real wet. So stay tuned, because this month will only get weirder.
Yeah. Do you think if they could have just put like a sheet over the probe droid on Hoth and it would have looked like a ghost?
That would have been really
also
funny.
Been pretty good camo.
If they cut eyeballs in it.
Yeah.
And they threw rocks at it until they killed it.
So this week's episode is interesting because you got a real good interview.
Yeah, we did.
I actually haven't seen yet. So I guess we're just going to do that. You got to hang out with Lonely Island.
Yeah, that was really awesome career highlight. Those guys were wonderful. They came by our set the other day and hung out for a few hours and shot some cool videos. So you'll get to see those right now. Let's take a look at Lonely Island's interview right here on Up at Noon.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Altano, and with me is Andy, Yorma, and Akiva. For Popstar, which is in theaters this weekend. It's a movie these guys just worked on. They put out together. They've been making videos as a Lonely Island for years. There's no way you haven't seen them at this point. Thank you guys so much for coming to San Francisco. You guys grew up in the Bay Area, right?
We did. We're Berkeley natives.
Across the pond, as they say.
Right.
As all the locals say.
They all say.
That's England.
When you're from the Bay, you know what I'm talking about. Across the pond.
I had a whole interview planned with you guys about your new movie, which sounds awesome. But real quick, I want to get into the fact that you told me a minute ago that you played a lot of Link's crossbow training.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
we were
definitely.
noticing your little guy over here.
Yeah.
And for the last two albums, Turtleneck and Chain and the Whack album, we played nothing but. We would drink a lot of tequila, and then we'd play Link's Crossbow Challenge into the wee morn.
Wow. That
And
was that
talk
a pun?
like that. We
Yeah.
always call it the wee
Well,
moment.
when you're across the pond,
We put it on our
In
docket.
East
We'd
Bay,
say,
all the way across the pond.
Daytime Hours album, We Mourn, Link's Crossbow.
It's actually only 2 times. Those are the only 2 times. So did you guys ever think of driving by like a GameStop and maybe getting a second game?
like a new game? I don't know. Did we talk
On
about
one of
that?
our albums, we had a Wii, and I promptly downloaded. You could get the retro Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And I got Tecmo Bowl and played the whole game in a 24-hour period and won it, and then it never played again.
How
They,
long did it actually take you to win it? Again, did it all come back immediately?
It was like 6 or 7 hours. It
You
didn't
get a lot of that, like, I grew up with this game, I'm gonna play it again, I remember it so well, and then you try it again, you're like, oh wait, this is totally different now, because now I have taxes. And
you mean like you shouldn't be
Your
playing any video
perspective has
game.
shifted?
they're like, they ruined my childhood. It's like, no, your adulthood did that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Bomberman was mine. I loved Bomberman.
Bomberman was a great game.
We got a little into the original Excite Bike as well, and we
Oh,
would try
yeah.
to, because you could build your own
Super.
tracks, if
Yeah.
you recall, but we never, we got into building like the simplest track you could ever build and just doing it over and over to try to get the best score on
Right.
it. And we would have the same track built for weeks.
The track we made was to try and make it so that the jumps were super duper far apart from each other.
Yeah, it was just
And
the,
within-
it was just the triangle jump.
Yep.
Over
Yes.
and over and over, but
we-
far enough apart that you would land
You know,
and
yeah,
hit
if
the
you do
next one.
smooth landing multiple times in a row, it gives you the super jump.
Yeah, then you're good to go.
And we got it to the point where you left the screen for long periods of time.
Oh, you're just in the air.
You're like
Yeah,
you're
above
out of
the
the
screen.
matrix.
You're in a different game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wanted like a millionaire to make a real motocross level based on those tracks. So there's basically just shoot a guy in the air like 70 feet, and he has to land on that really skinny thing. I would be a very
A real life
millionaire.
recreation, you're saying.
Yes.
That's what you
With
want.
a little refresh.
Anyway, so I saw your movie the other day, Popstar. It's fantastic.
Thanks.
It's,
Thank you.
It's actually like a very interesting watch. I mean, I realized I saw Hot Rod in theaters opening weekend, so I've been
One of the
down with
few.
the cause for a while.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it
Thank you
was.
for being there.
There was not a lot of people there, but you know, we were dedicated.
Yeah.
The right people were there.
The right people.
Yeah.
We were on the right side of history.
You were.
Very important.
And it's been fascinating watching you guys do this for so long, and now to basically make a movie that's not only embracing but kind of also lampooning almost every aspect of the music industry.
Right.
Which is, I think, is fascinating that you've become part of it to a point where you're actually seen as legitimate artists, but able to still pull back and make fun of a lot of stuff.
You think of us
Very
as
nice of you to
artists.
say
I
that.
do.
You do? Okay, okay.
Is that
take
okay?
that.
Yeah,
We could put that
sure.
on the poster. Legitimate artists. IGN.
In quotes. Yeah. You need the quote, though.
I think it might be a little late for posters, but if there's like hopefully, I'm hoping you're not
International.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, yeah,
They get it like months
International.
later, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Australia.
Yes.
So one of the things I really liked about this movie, again, with sort of lampooning the music industry in a lot of ways, is you have this one joke about these, about your character, Connor For Real, who is kind of like, he's kind of like a mix between if if an alternate dimension Beastie Boys, if they went up and grew up and got very mean, but with a little bit of Macklemore, and who else? I mean, there's a couple other characters kind of intertwined
There's
in there.
some Katy Perry, there's some Drake, there's some Kanye, there's some Bieber, but they're all kind of vague references.
Right.
It's sort of like a big amalgam of everyone and everything in pop music.
And we've been saying that there's a little bit of Alicia Keys in there as well. And
Well, 'cause-
then everyone
yeah,
that we
mostly
grew
in
up
the
with from
voice.
the
My
band.
character
Right, the
talks a
voice.
little bit like Alicia Keys.
Yes.
Just a little. She's much nicer.
You have this one line in the film that's kind of making fun of people. It goes through all of your sort of like what your handlers need to do to help you out. Like people who stand next to you to make you look taller.
Right, yeah.
People that carry umbrellas over you. Like, and I remember reading a story about that's a real thing that Mariah Carey had people do.
Did which one?
The
Wait,
umbrella
umbrella?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Well, it
then
gets hot
she's-
out there and or wet.
But she's in your movie,
She is in
Yeah.
our movie.
Yeah.
which
And
is kind of interesting to be like sitting 5 feet from a part where they're also making fun of something you did.
Well,
We
everybody's
weren't aware
like-
of
She was a
that
part of
also.
the. She was a part of the joke. To
Right.
Be
Yeah,
fair.
but we didn't know the umbrella thing either
Oh, really?
until
Yeah,
you just
no,
told
no.
us. So
Well, there you go.
did she have two of them? One for sun, one for rain?
That one was based more on when Diddy was like very publicly having Farnsworth Bentley walk
Right.
around with him holding an umbrella and stuff,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of
Yeah,
That was his
that was the
personal
origin of it.
attaché
But
kind of
he
vibe.
was even doing it kind of winky, right? He was like, I'm going to do this thing where I have like a
Like a living cartoon, follow me around.
yeah, in like an incredible bespoke suit.
Well, it was winky, but it was in like the same year where he was getting people to walk over the Brooklyn Bridge to like get him donuts and stuff like that.
Right.
I watched that
Yeah, that was-
season of.
yeah.
What
It was cheesecake.
Get a donut. Get me a donut was the name of the show.
What was the name of the show?
Get me a donut.
I know what
It was
it
making the
about.
band.
Making the
Making the
yeah,
band.
absolutely.
And they went to that place in Brooklyn, yeah, for the cheesecake.
Yeah.
Juniors.
Juniors.
That helps. That helps your rapping skills. You know what I mean?
It does, yeah. That's
It's
the
like,
best way to be a
like,
rapper
it
is you
helps
walk
your breath
a long,
control.
walk a long way for a donut. Speaking of rappers, some of my favorite rappers of all time were in this movie, and I was
Yeah.
just geeking out watching people like Nas, RZA was he just showed up. Like, what was it like working with these guys? Did you guys grow up listening to these rappers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
It was crazy for us. Like, it was insane for everyone because Ringo Starr is also in the movie, and I was like, holy shit, there's a Beatle on set. This is so crazy. But I would say for us, it was equally crazy to be like, Nas is here.
Right.
Nas is here. Like, and they were all super fun and laid back, and I think kind of killed it.
Yeah, no,
they
they
get
were
huge laughs in the movie.
It was also
were
that
great.
like that when we were interviewing them, we're feeding them questions, but like they're talking about our previous band, the Style Boys, that we were all in a group together, and
Yeah.
like it's having Nas say like, "Oh man, I grew up listening to the Style Boys," and we're sitting
Yeah.
across and we're like, "Oh, I can't believe we're making you say this. This
Like
is ridiculous."
we made this fake world where you grew up listening to us.
yeah,
Yeah.
makes no
That,
sense.
yeah, that's awesome. It's like playing with dolls, but they're people.
Yeah, you're like, what?
No,
How are we
it was
allowed to
very
do this?
like dream come true.
It was also he was so game and he was super funny.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of the production in this movie is just phenomenal. I mean, most of it's phenomenal, but some of it is so good that it almost like, I almost wanted you guys to just double dip and just to start selling them the rappers. Like, can you legally do that? Like, can you get?
You mean
You said
selling
like
like the backing music?
Yeah, just give it to
I
to
mean,
Nas.
we
and-
buy it off producers who make it non-ironically in the hopes of selling it to some real rappers
Right.
or real R&B artists, and then we buy it and just ruin it. And just,
yeah.
No, but you're right. We constantly feel like that as like if you ruin a song that you're like, oh, this legitimately could have been an actual hit. Like
Yeah.
somewhere you're like, oh man, maybe we should just give it back.
Or
give it back.
people could just
just
buy
don't-
ours.
They can buy it, yeah,
Yeah,
which
just
comes
buy
out the same day,
ours.
June 3rd. You know,
Putting out a
same
big
day as the movie
soundtrack.
comes out.
Sort of the
plug.
Yeah, it's
People
the
don't buy
unofficial
music
fourth album.
anymore,
It's
guys.
seamless.
Well, stream it.
Yeah, stream it.
So I mean, you guys basically produced like what, like an album's worth of music for this movie, right?
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
kind of more because we picked and chose from what we made, and we wanted more than more than we needed.
Right. Did that burn you guys out at all, making a movie and doing an album?
No,
It
super
was the opposite?
easy.
No,
We
if
encourage
anything,
everyone to
we're
do it.
refreshed.
Oh.
I mean, look at us. We
Yeah.
feel great. We look
Yeah.
great.
We look
true.
younger,
Awesome.
not older.
It's only
By the
getting
way,
younger.
as our friendship has developed, we sit closer and closer together. So
Yeah.
if anyone
I've
at
just
home
been-
was confused,
I've just
about
been
why
edging
we're
in
this-
here.
Yeah.
Our legs are interlocked under this desk.
They are. Well, you
You
guys
just
walked in with
pan
all of
down
your
then.
shoes tied together like a weird, like a corporate outing, like one of those like potato sack races. You know, like face swapping technology is getting better, so they could always
It's
just
getting a
use
lot better.
the old versions of you.
That's true.
It's actually getting terrifying to the point where you could, I think, rob a bank and on camera it'd just be like Forrest Whitaker. I don't know why I went with you, Forrest Whitaker. I'm very sorry about that.
He's definitely
He's a great
watching.
guy.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? I mean, that's the stupid question everybody asks you, and it sucks to say that because you're doing this right now, and you're like, I don't want to think about it.
We're gonna do this for the next at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then right after this, I think
What's-
we'll probably try to get Link's Crossbow Challenge,
Yeah.
like a game going out
Probably
there.
gonna have some pina coladas.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, while in San Francisco, the San Francisco treat.
The
And
whole
you know,
Colada-
and you know what's
pina
funny?
coladas.
and you know what's funny is that they say that across the pond too.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Over
do.
in the East
In the
Bay,
East
across
Bay.
the pond.
Across the
they'll
pond.
They'll chug a colada.
The Great Lakes, they
To the
call it.
gullet.
Probably just
Yeah.
gonna head across the pond and hit Senior Frogs.
Yeah.
I ate at one of those places in Vegas recently, and it's just hilarious how they just put like really bad like motivational quotes on the ceiling. That's just like, it's not divorce, it's freedom. And you're like, why am I reading that under a $17 burrito? The place is terrible. Sorry, Senior Frogs and Forrest Whitaker.
Who is that for? Who's
I don't
the
know.
clientele?
I don't know.
I wish you could cut to Forrest Whitaker at Senior Frogs, being like, what the hell?
crying. He's like, I wrote those signs.
I'm not gonna rob a bank.
Guys, leave me alone. That's my first
But yeah, I hate asking what's next because it's always like when you get married and someone's like, "When's the baby?" and you're like, "Leave me alone."
Right.
I just got this suit. I have it for 3 more
No,
days.
I
But
mean,
you still need to ask it. So
Yeah, you
I'll
do.
tell you.
Yeah, cookbook.
Cookbook,
Right?
main
That's like
thing,
one
the
of the big things
cookbook.
that we're gonna
yeah.
Right, there's
We're
a little
gonna-
theme park thing that we're trying to get off the ground, but we want to make sure that we invest like a lot of money.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because we feel like it's just going to be like a guaranteed success.
Nintendo's getting into a theme park game, so you guys.
No.
might be-
We don't want any like really recognizable brands like that. It's got to
Okay.
be like us, and then just like all of our money. We're just gonna sink it all into it, and I think it'll be.
We're gonna hit
And
the
it's not for
road.
kids.
We're gonna hit the road like Fred Savage and the Wizard,
Yeah.
and just
Yep.
just see if we can't win that tournament.
Yeah,
at
that
Universal
was-
Studios.
Does the wizard come up in every episode of this, or what percentage?
Yes.
70.
Yeah, the Wizard's been sponsoring the show since 1984.
We were talking
Yeah,
about the
that makes
Power
sense.
Glove before this started, so it's
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the. A lot of people remember. That's another thing people remember very fondly. That was just not that great. I remember playing Punch Out with it, and to punch guys, you had to like pinch.
Terrible. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
getting the turbo controller, and on track and field, it was incredible.
Yes.
We just set the records in everything immediately. And,
Yeah.
and it was very clearly cheating.
When I lived in New York City, I had the Power Pad, and I was in college, and I had downstairs neighbors, and they were
hated
just.
the Power
I'm just the
Pad.
worst. Yeah, it's terrible.
Terrible.
To
We
fight
did.
that,
We
you have to fight
re-got
back.
the Power Pad in our adult lives and got the track and field game, and we really tried to do the racing track.
It's
and field, the original
impossible.
track and field on it, and you just use the tips of your toes to go. brrrr and
Yeah,
try
who
to
is
go-
that built for?
I
Like
don't know.
that
Like
Olympic
spazzy
runner guy
kids.
with the metal legs?
Yeah,
Like
you're probably like ADD kids. Right?
Forrest
ADD
Whitaker?
Yeah.
Okay, they're wrapping us up.
Hey, why would you hit him twice?
Why couldn't we get- He's a lovely man.
Any final words about this great movie coming out?
Please
Thank you
see
for
it.
enjoying
Yeah.
it.
Mostly
Yeah.
that it's great, as you said.
Yes.
Then those aren't my words. You said it.
I would say it's a critical darling. Go see it. We're coming out in the middle of the summer. We need you.
Yeah,
He liked it.
I liked it. So I mean,
Loved
there's
it.
that.
If you ever liked anything we did, it delivers on that. If you hate us, people who say they hate us say they even like this.
Do people say they
That's
hate
true.
you?
That is actually true.
That's true. A lot of
Several
people,
people.
in some of the test screenings were like, I hate Andy Samberg, but this was good.
To be fair,
And I was sitting right there, but I didn't go like, hey man! I was like, nice, I'll take it. So yeah, it's a home run.
It's a home run.
And,
A+, 5 out of 5.
Give
And
it a shot.
Yeah, they're calling it one of the top 3 movies ever made.
Nice.
Yeah, they are.
They are our parents.
Yeah.
They.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Grandma says she loves it. Anyway, Pop Stars in theaters this weekend. Go see it with your grandmother, Forrest Whitaker, and everyone at Senior Frogs because you'll just have a great time.
Nicely wrapped up.
Yeah, I just brought everything in there. That was like an Adam
beautiful.
Sandler movie. Just did all the references at the end.
got it all.
Remember all those things?
Everyone was there at the town
We
hall
were there.
thing.
We shared those moments, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. See you soon.
That's awesome, man.
That was a lot of fun.
That's so cool. So Hot Rod is like one of my favorite comedies ever.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
Yeah, people should really check that movie out.
Yeah, it's such an underrated movie. There's actually there's a bit in there that it's probably the first horse humor I encountered before I befriended you. But there's a bit in there where there's like a montage of Hot Rod like trying to just train for his whole Hot Rod stunt jump or whatever. And there's a bit where his stepdad, who he's training so he can fight his stepdad, sort of the point of the movie, but his stepdad's painting this picture of a horse like kissing him or something, or he's romancing this horse. And apparently they had to do 2 paintings prior to that because they kept being too they kept being way too graphic. So they just he's like the stepdad making these awful paintings of just like Hot Rod being like romanced by horses.
What? That is
So there's somewhere out there
bizarre.
there's two paintings that are too explicit for the movie Hot Rod. Gotta get that director's cut.
Yeah, I want to buy those.
Yeah.
There's another movie coming out. It's called Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
You've probably heard
It's
about
an
it.
uplifting, family-friendly outing that's sure to please all people of ages.
Yeah, bring the kids. No, don't. They'll throw up. You probably heard about this movie a lot because Jared Leto, I don't care, is playing the Joker in this film, and he's reminded you of that every 4 minutes for the last year because all of his pranks and antics and hilarious goofs and guffaws have been well documented all over the set and the rest of his personal life. He's playing the Joker.
He's a method actor, so he has to get really in character for the Joker, who,
That's
if
right.
you're unfamiliar, is kind of a prankster.
Yeah, we had a story.
Or
we heard
a Joker, I guess.
Heard a story the other day about him walking around New York City and just practicing the laugh to see if it'll startle people.
Apparently, he hazed all his co-stars.
Yep.
But we've got some exclusive photographs of the other stuff he's been doing to get really
Really getting in there deep.
scary and humorous. So let's take a look at these. This is a pretty crazy thing to do. Jared Leto did the bop it in the park while making phony prank calls. Went right down to Central Park, and he's in the middle of all that, and he's just calling people up and saying, "Hi, do you have Prince Albert in a can?" And meanwhile, they can kind of hear off the phone this bop it, twist it. Whack
Yeah,
it.
because you know why? Because he's crazy.
Yeah, he's a wacky dude.
He's crazy,
You know what?
just like that Joker
You know
character.
how crazy he is? He wore this funky disguise because he's a wild and crazy guy.
Oh, you're so crazy, Jared Leto. That's nuts. That's something exactly like the Joker would do.
Yeah, so
because he's a real clown.
Obviously, this has been professionally retouched, but that hat is a real thing he wore on purpose. So
Yeah, he actually got shot in the head by a real arrow by some weird dude.
yeah, Okay.
What else did you do, crazy Jared
He
Leto?
cosplayed as the old woman from Home Alone 2 because she's out of her mind.
Oh, yo, she's crazy.
Everyone's
She lets
like,
birds dunk all over
That's
her.
a family-friendly Christmas movie. That woman lives in the attic of an orchestra. That's a terrifying place to live, and she's covered in birds. Also, Jared Leto, it's a really great picture of him. He looks like he's whistling. What else did he do?
Oh, he lived in a real house of cards with all his pizza Lunchables. He ate them cold for a full year.
Now, once again, these
Like a
pictures
sick
are
clown.
These pictures are totally real. These are actual set photos that have leaked from Suicide Squad. These are not fake pictures. They're real.
Wow,
Completely.
he's going to be a great Joker based on
Yeah.
this pre-promotion that he's doing.
That's enough sodium to kill a giraffe. Look at all those Lunchables. You know
Oh,
what?
he went into the
wow.
parking lot for everybody working on the movie, and he put gross cloud stuff all over their real cars. Oh, you crazy, Jared Leto.
Those cars were rentals.
Look
They're
how
gonna have
pissed off
to-
that police officer is.
He's so mad.
He got giant rainbow ice cream cones that just really mess up the roofs of those cars.
It's really bad for those
Whoa,
1997 Ford Tauruses.
This movie has to be good.
Oh, no, what happened here?
Did you cover Margot Robbie in Dynamite and Bees? You crazy clown, man. You're going to be great in this film. I can't wait to see how crazy you knock it out the park
Oh, look at-
in the upcoming
oh,
DC movie, Suicide Squad, starring Jared Leto as the Joker.
You know what else he's doing? He's stretching out that sweater. That looks expensive, Jared Leto. Don't do that. It's bad for
Ooh,
the
he's going to
fabric.
return it to H&M.
It says
Get
lay
all the
flat
money
to
back.
dry. Don't stretch it out like that. You'll ruin the shoulders. What else did he do?
Oh, he let a wolf do a real poop in the Hadron Collider. That's crazy, Jared Leto. That's going to cause an eruption of sorts.
The Joker's at it again.
You might have messed up the space-time continuum, just like the
man.
Joker would.
They discovered a new kind of turd.
Suicide Squad has to be a good
turds.
movie now. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
Wow, Jared Leto, you really got into character.
but
What a great clown you're going to be.
Seriously, I want to really point out, and this is something I hope that DC gets hip to it at some point. It would make our jobs harder because we wouldn't get to do segments like this every 2 weeks. But I really wish they just kind of shut up a little bit about all of the stuff they've announced constantly. Like, what if we knew that Jared Leto was playing the Joker, but we didn't see what he looked like? He wasn't in the trailer, but then we saw him in the movie and it was just a complete surprise.
But where's the fun in that, Max Scoville? What if Jared Leto showed up and he spray painted everybody's faces and got them all tattoos of weird mouths and they had to live like that forever? Because he's crazy like a clown.
You know what? I'm excited about Suicide Squad. I think it's going to be interesting. It might be a train wreck, but I think it's going to be cool to watch. And I hope that they use a nice IGN original on the posters. Here's a little soundbite for you, Warner Brothers. More fun than a Hadron super collider full of wolf turds. IGN.com. I'm gonna get yelled at.
There it
for that.
is. Yeah, he wore sunglasses
Can
in
they
there
just
too.
put that image on the box?
Yep.
Please? Please? All right. So moving on, everyone got real mad because Suicide Squad is getting reshoots, and they're like, oh my god, that means it's a bad movie. And then this week we got news that Rogue One, a Star Wars story,
Yep.
yeah, that's not going to get old, is also getting reshoots, and everyone's like, oh, it's a bad movie, clearly. It's going to get reshoots, they're going to go and... This happens.
Well, so
to
there was
everything.
a lot of fear behind this, and I think some of the major stuff is that obviously this is looking to be one of the probably more morbid, tonally dark stories in the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
Probably even more so than Empire Strikes Back. And you and I both were big on those Jay Rinsler making a Star Wars books,
Yeah.
where they talked about at one point how you didn't really get a ton of return viewings on Empire Strikes Back because it just it ends on like a sad note.
Yeah.
And this movie is probably going to end up with a bunch of dudes blown up to pass off space plans so they can kill the Death Star for the first out of 40 times. And there we are. Also, like, you know, Disney owns Star Wars now. Can they sell toys? What do you do with something like this?
Yeah,
Like, this has to be a big...
you try really hard not to screw it up. We've heard like mixed things. Presumably they were kind of planning on having reshoots. I don't know. There's rumors that they're adding Alden Ehrenreich, the man who's playing Han Solo. They're maybe going to throw him in there, maybe show off how much he's going to look like Harrison Ford. Who knows? But like,
kind of not crazy about that.
point
but
is,
sure.
the original Star Wars movies underwent a great deal of baloney to get where they were.
That's
the
true.
first Star Wars movie basically took a decade to get made because of how much of a train wreck it was. In fact, when it was kind of first finished, George Lucas actually showed it to some people, and the reception was not good. There were actually reshoots on the first Star Wars movie. They had to, I believe, get like $20,000 to buy just hundreds of new Halloween masks to fill up the cantina to make it look like it wasn't just a really empty bar.
I really want to see what that looked like before that, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's weird because it's mixed in. It's just different shots. It's all editing. But here are some sound bites from the George Lucas biography, Skywalking: The Life and Films of George Lucas by Dale Pollock. These are interesting just because they really, like, we know Star Wars is a good movie. We love Star Wars too much probably, but this kind of lends some just, wow, it was really bad at one point. So let's take a look. First of all, test audience is not always great. Fox's market research had shown that women did not want to see a film with wars in the title. The robots didn't test well, nor did the science fiction label Fox had stuck in the movie. When Star Wars came out, science fiction movies were kind of just not good.
Yeah.
There was 2001: A Space Odyssey, and Star Trek was on TV, but like as far as movies that people fell in love with, that didn't really happen. That was kind of a thing that Industrial Light and Magic really made happen because special effects weren't up to par.
Yeah, they were also seen for a while as like very kind of like scattered and low budget.
Yeah.
And, not really the kind of thing you take the whole family to.
Yeah, and then of course, Lucas got together with his friends, which included Steven Spielberg, Brian De Palma, who did Scarface, and with the exception of, I think, Steven Spielberg and I want to say like some movie critic or some director or something, they all thought it was a disaster.
Yeah.
They all hated it. And then they had dinner afterwards, and I love this story. At dinner, they sat on one side of the table praising Star Wars, being the guys who liked it, Spielberg and the other guy, while De Palma faced them and made snide suggestions. And George didn't lose his appetite. That's the one thing I remember Spielberg
Attaboy,
says.
George.
He kept eating his dinner, nodding his head, and taking it all in, but I don't believe he made any changes. The Fox board of directors, of course, still had to see Star Wars. They're businessmen. As expected, the screening was a disaster. Several members fell asleep, and most of them hated the movie. And one admitted after several drinks, because it was the 70s, that Star Wars might be all right, but he also didn't know anything about movies. Fun thing to remember. Filmmaking is still an industry.
Yeah.
It is a weird hybrid of arts and industry, and the people who are calling the shots on how movies get made frequently don't really know what the hell they're talking about. So let's hope that the folks at Disney do, and they're not adding Jar Jar Binks to Rogue One.
Yeah, I mean, if reshoots worked for the original Star Wars, which is one of the greatest movies of all time, then they'll be okay for Rogue One.
Yeah. Speaking of Rogue One, we got a cool leak. This might get nuked from orbit by Disney's legal team, but
Let's do it anyway.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
We've given
Probably
them
a
so
lot.
much money. So basically, if you're trying to steer clear entirely of Rogue One spoilers, you might want to turn away. Warning you now. However, if you've seen the trailers, this doesn't really show anything you haven't seen. And besides, it's all Lego sets, so it could be horse bunkum. Here you go. Take a look. These are leaked Star Wars Rogue One Lego sets.
I really love this time of year.
Upper left, you've got what looks like that tank thing that we saw in the trailer. And
Yeah,
then,
it's
of
like
course,
it's the new troop transport, pretty much, which is
it
really
looks
cool.
really small. I don't know how they're going to fit all those troops in there.
I don't know.
It looks like most of them have to ride on top of it like a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
Then there's the ATST, which looks like it looks kind of like it's got like a puffy head. Is that like it could be a very different?
So we got the AT-ACT last week, which is the new sort of all-terrain combat version of the AT-AT, and this is hopefully a slightly remixed version of the AT-ST as well, or
Yeah.
AT-AT. I know, jury's out. We've been debating this for
Yeah, who
years.
cares?
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah. Then of course there's the there's this weird TIE fighter that's kind of looks like it sort of looks like a TIE Interceptor, but
So is this flat? Like, is it just?
Yeah.
That's because I really like the look of this.
Which is also, it's interesting because it is, one thing that's always been sort of tricky is kind of balancing the designs of prequels with the original trilogy.
Yeah.
They've always, as you get into Revenge of the Sith, the fighters start looking more like, original trilogy stuff, and this is kind of continuing that. It looks quite a bit like the Jedi Starfighters.
Right.
Or the Republic fighters.
I always
guess.
think about it like when you were walking around in the 2000s, you saw some people who still dress like they were in the 90s. Like, sometimes there's multiple versions of the same model and make on the street at the same time for a car or a bicycle or anything like that, really.
It's always interesting. And then the bottom here,
Plus
we've
you
got
sell
this,
toys.
this one, which we've seen, and there was some leaked artwork that we also didn't talk about. Did we talk about that on the show? The leaked stuff?
No, we did not.
Yeah, we're scared of lawyers. But yeah, that looks cool.
Not this week.
It's a funky spaceship. I don't know. All right, then there's one over there which just looks like a really goth Tidarium shuttle. So what's that going to be? I don't know, but it shoots missiles.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this is even better. Minifigs.
Yeah, we got a question here from
Get us
David.
out of there. You're covering up the minifigs. Thank you,
David
guys.
Murray. He says, where is Alan Tudyk? I haven't seen him anywhere in previews. He apparently is playing this droid that you can see in the lower left right there.
Yeah,
It's
we
really
see him.
cool.
You see the glimpses of him in the trailer.
Yeah.
God, this is so neat. I like that one guy. He's the second from the bottom row, second from the left. He's a big fat potato boy, real gross. It looks like he's got stink lines coming out of him.
Yeah, he looks like a mini Hut. I like him a lot.
One thing I really had a problem with The Force Awakens was a lack of new aliens in kind of leading roles or really even speaking roles. They didn't. There was Maz Kanata, and then that was kind of it. You know, you didn't really get a whole lot of other weird stuff going on. So this kind of bodes well for that. It definitely looks like a more variety. You know, these are rogues. These are scum and villainy. This is what I want from Star Wars. So.
Yeah, I mean, this really exemplifies that whole sort of ragtag group of characters they're going for. And as you can see, no Jedi. So we'll see how all that plays. I'm very fascinated to see a Star Wars movie that doesn't have Jedi in it. I don't know how well that bodes for test audiences or for people looking to buy Jedi toys. Are you okay, Zach?
It's so cold in here.
It's very cold in our
here.
studio.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
But yeah, that's
cold.
That's Rogue One. We're obviously going to be following that for the rest of our lives, pretty much. But
We will
specifically
be
this
watching
year.
Rogue One, Rogue 2, Rogue 3 and 4, and so on.
Yep, until they make Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
The
All
HD
6 of the
remake.
Rogues have finally reunited.
The N64 game.
Yeah.
They're
We're
just
going to
put
have
that on the
to buy
screen.
one of those booster pack things for our movie theaters so we can see it.
I'm excited.
The graphics.
It's a Star Wars year. It's pretty much a Star Wars year forever.
So for those
let's
of
keep
you
it going.
sick of us talking about Star Wars, great news. We're going to talk about Star Wars some more.
Yeah.
You got the Lonely Island guys to name some Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
And they might not be quite as up on Star Wars lore as we are.
Yeah, you're going to love this. Check it out. So I have a giant box of Star Wars toys here, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull them on the set, and we're going to go through each one, and we're going to give them new names. Now, this is BOSSK. BOSSK is like a... I don't know. He's kind of like he's like a astronaut alligator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I don't like that name. Let's give him a brand new name. What should we call this guy?
Ballsack guy.
Ballsack guy.
Ballsack guy?
Well, his face kind of looks like a ball sack.
You're gonna regret that because I have one in the box that really looks like a ballsack.
Even more? I don't know. Top it.
I was gonna-
Allosaurus guy.
I was gonna say Derek.
Derek.
I was going Stinky.
Hey guys, it's me, Derek. I hate space.
Derek.
I'm gonna be in the break room.
Give me 20 tokens to kill someone. Derek's
Coming
the
up
winner.
next, we have the Rancor. This guy, he lives underneath Jabba's palace. He gets killed by like a door.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit more intense than a door.
Yeah.
It's like a.
Now,
He
his-
looks a lot
slicing.
like the butthole judge from The Wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we legally call him Butthole Judge?
But
Yeah.
Butthole Judge is probably the most specific and best.
I think he's really happy.
I like imagining
Killed
him
by a
kind of
door
like, hey, you guys going to the party later?
Oh no, man! Sorry, I
Can
think
you
I
get a-
got
can we
canceled,
get a
man.
cutaway of
Sorry,
him
I-
and
You know what the
Close up, there he
password is for the after party?
Nah, I got
No,
canceled,
man.
man. So
got
we're just all
canceled?
gonna, yeah, we're gonna head in.
So
Oh,
weird.
again?
Everybody's so tired. We're just going to bed. We're just
All right,
calling
I'm
it
gonna
night.
probably go like eat Luke Skywalker. I'm sure it'll work out great.
Next, we have this funky space horse. This is a Tauntaun.
Oh, yeah, it's
You actually see this guy in the
the
first few moments of Empire Strikes Back, which
Yeah.
is widely regarded as one of the greatest movies of all time. Starts with this
Can't
kangaroo dude. So that's good.
This is the one that Bill Hader does the great
Yeah,
impression of.
he can do it. He can do it.
Well, it's like, it's it's just a terrifying noise. So what do we call this guy?
Jeremy.
Yeah, he does look like it. When you look in his eyes, you do see a Jeremy. It's hard. Can
Yeah.
you get a close up of his eyes?
Yeah, you
From
really
he
can.
looks
has an oh
fearsome,
shit
but
gonna
then he
say,
looks
so
kind of sweet.
Here, look.
He just found out that Pearl Jam made a song about him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Super
zoom
excited.
helped too. Yeah. Be like, can we get
He's
back to that
fucked.
close up?
He kind of looks like he kind of got busted for something. He's
Yeah.
doing something weird back there. He's touching himself. Or
He's
smoking
like,
weed.
look, I'm down to go out on this expedition, but don't cut me open and hide in my stomach for warrant. We're all agreed? We're all agreed. No one's gonna cut me open and hide inside me for warrant?
Yeah, man.
come
No,
on out.
All right,
absolutely.
cool, deal.
Next up, we got Greedo. Greedo is, I don't really know what's going on with this dude.
Greedo's outfit is so tight.
Yeah, it's really great. It's got that. He's got this like 70s cowboy pimp
He's
thing
like
going
in
on.
Yeah.
ABBA. They're like Barry Gibb with like some bad acne.
Yep, you can't do stealth with this with this costume either. He's
I'd
just
say-
like, hi, it's me, I'm back.
I would say quad knee.
Like 4 Rodneys. You got it.
Quad.
Or
Rodneys.
Rodneys.
This is Bib Fortuna. He's
Bib
basically
Fortuna.
he works in Jabba's
yeah.
palace.
He's boss that guy.
What do we call
This guy's got a
He's
problem.
boss that guy.
I think he gets killed anyway.
Be like, for real, be honest. How do I look?
Ponda Baba, he's in the
Choking.
cantina. Now we're getting to the
Yeah.
real ball sack stuff. here.
Yeah, yeah.
My friend doesn't like you.
No,
Yeah.
I don't like you either. I think he's yeah. They're gonna.
There's the theme.
Ah! So what do you want to call him?
Orangutan.
I would
ass?
say Gorf.
Would you say reggaeton?
orangutan ass.
Oh, I thought you
He's got
said
the
reggaeton
orangutan.
ass.
Oh, reggaeton ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like monkey
He's like
butt mouth.
Pitbull, basically.
Yeah, he is like
Monkey butt mouth.
Mr. Worldwide. Last one.
Straight up Jabba.
Jabba the Hutt. What do
What
we call
would you
this
call
guy?
him though? Name him.
Lance.
Blance?
No,
Lance.
come on.
Just Lance, just plain Lance. I like that you went Blance though.
Blance.
Blance?
Blanche.
The common name Blance?
Blanche.
We wanted to name him Blaine, and my wife wanted to name him Lance. And we just put him together.
It's just
Blanche.
Blance.
Like Golden Girls.
This
feel
is
like
Blance and his
Blance is
brother
right.
Claudney.
Quad knee.
Yeah. Jabba definitely looks like he's retired in Florida.
Yeah, he's done. We know who he's voting
Kind
for.
of looks like a croissant also.
He does kind of look like half a croissant.
Like a green
Yeah,
croissant.
that is a
It's like
Parisian.
a Brooklyn confection.
Oh, that is so good.
That was like seriously some of the most fun I've ever had at work. Oh
That's
my god.
so cool, man.
Yeah, that was a good time.
I was just like cleaning off my desk when you were doing that. It was very dusty, so I'm very sad I didn't get to be a part of that.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a new Metal Gear Solid game. There is
What? There's a new Metal Gear Solid game?
I mean, yeah, there's a new Metal Gear Solid game.
Awesome.
It's coming out. It's a pachinko game.
What?
It's a pachinko game. I'm sorry. Can we?
What?
Yeah. Konami released a trailer for this. I know how we were all like, "Hey, man, maybe Konami's not gonna screw everything up."
Wait a minute, they made a joke come true. That was a joke. That we said they're gonna make a Metal Gear Solid pachinko. What?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. What is this?
Did we get the trailer for it?
Yeah, we
there
got
we
the trailer.
go. Okay.
Okay. Looking good so
He
far.
has come too.
Solid Snake is back. And now his box is a this thing.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
That's how big the screen is. So this game's gonna be really good. Super excited about that. Big Boss is in it. Awesome. Love that dude. Okay, this is an arcade cabinet. Wow, it's got a custom kit and everything. And there's 40 of them.
Okay.
And the room is filled with cigarette smoke and screaming Japanese people, and I'm sick already. What the
Yeah.
This is tragic, dude. This is
Yeah.
heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking. What?
Yeah. Wait, is that... Did they render that in the... Is that in the new engine? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Holy crap! They rendered...
Yep.
What? That's really cool. It's too bad it's embedded in a Japanese gambling box. Oh my god, this looks so good!
I know!
But it's a pachinko machine!
Why?
Damn it!
Damn it, Konami!
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm really... Oh, God, I'm really torn
The
about this.
bees, the old guy, the spaceman. Wow, she looks good.
Yeah, she looks great.
Dang.
But
okay,
imagine how
so-
great she looks in this pachinko machine instead of on your TV at home. This
God.
garbage town that we live in.
I'm just leaving.
This is
Screw it.
horrible. Why would they
Yeah.
do this? I love Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And this is what... Oh,
Forget
God,
it.
this is the worst.
I'm done.
You suck. I hate this.
I'm just gonna take a minute here.
This is the
I'm
worst.
pretty mad about this.
Why don't you just make a real Metal Gear game?
So stupid. Come on!
You're just awful.
All right,
Why
so-
would you do that? I love Snake Eater. Why did you...
You know what really sucks?
That-
is that we can't say the F word on this show.
Yeah, I would really love to say
I
the F
really
word.
just want to swear about that. That makes me so mad. Yeah, so I hope Hideo Kojima's new game is cool. I think it probably will be.
Have you seen their other one, by the way? They did this. This is their new thing now. Is that every few months they go, "Hey, we got a teaser. We're making another thing. Okay, cool. What is it? This is a it's a Castlevania game. Do you like those? Yeah, I love Castlevania game. All right. Well, here's an erotic Castlevania pachinko machine.
Oh, wait, actually, really?
That's a real thing. Yeah, they had the real. When I was asking Blair to pull the footage of this thing, we found out a trailer for an erotic Castlevania.
I'm gonna have to check that out after the show.
So if you're
Alone.
if you're running out of stuff to look at by yourself, there's that.
Yeah.
You can go look at that one.
Yeah. My best friend actually has a Neon Genesis Evangelion pachinko machine.
Oh,
And it is-
Evangeline.
It is the most apocalyptic device I've ever encountered because it's just like you like touch. I don't even know how to play pachinko really. I think you just push a button until balls come out or
Yep.
something. But it's the loudest. It's the loudest thing. It sounds like the Rapture. It starts playing like Cruel Angel's Thesis and like a bunch of like Beethoven, but then there's just the sound of like hundreds of metal balls just falling through. So it's like
You were in Japan once, right? Did you go in a pachinko parlor?
yeah. That's why I have this cough.
Yeah, I I don't know if I told the story on the show. That's the fastest I got immediately sick in my life. I walked into this place. It was 4 stories,
Yeah.
just screaming loud. Like it is. It sounds like being in like 70 bowling alleys
Yeah.
at the same
No, I'll
time.
stick to those UFO catcher parlors, my good man.
Yeah, at least they don't chain smoke cigarettes in those things.
Man.
Awful.
So there's
I went to go see a new film last week. It's called X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's a movie released in 2016 that you can see with your eyes. Of all the movies out this year, that's certainly one of them.
yeah.
I keep trying, man. I keep trying to fall back in love with this franchise in a cinematic form. It's very, very much a holdover of an early 2000s ideology of how to make a comic book movie. We've seen comic book movies grow and change so much since then, and yet here's another sequel or prequel or anti-prequel sequel to I believe this is like the 7th or 8th or even 9th if you count the Wolverine movies, X-Men film. And this one is... It's not, I've described it as, it's not a bad movie, it's not a good movie, it's just a movie that exists. That's all it is. And I don't know why, I don't know what they're doing with these characters. Nothing really major happens in this film. So much goes wrong in this film to the point where they actually forget the ending of the previous film to create it. They add new characters like Jubilee, who you've wanted to see for the longest time. She's wearing her iconic yellow jacket, and she doesn't say a word in the film.
Yeah. Just like her role in X2.
Yeah. Psylocke is in this movie. They don't give her much to do. Apocalypse is in this movie. His characteristics and powers are sort of undefined. That scene right there where you actually see him big fighting is a dream sequence. So there's
Okay.
Spoilers.
yeah, spoilers. I'm sorry. There's a
Wow.
lot of problems with this movie, but it's not just this movie. It's this franchise, and I think this franchise needs fixing. It needs a reboot.
It needs a reboot.
It needs to be removed from the hands of the people involved
Toyed
now.
with the idea. They ended Days of Future Past with this sort of weird soft reset.
Yeah.
And then they keep going back to it. We just heard that Patrick Stewart is going to show up in the Wolverine 3.
Yep.
Just reboot it. It's okay if you keep Hugh Jackman. I love Hugh Jackman. I think he's a great Wolverine. But just reboot it. Just clean the slate. Just start over. Sometimes you have to do that. You know, Fantastic Four maybe didn't work. Give it a shot.
So
just try it with
No,
X-Men.
Max, that's easier said than
So-
done. Obviously, you're one of the biggest X-Men fans I know.
When I heard that they were making an X-Men movie set in the 1980s, I was simultaneously heartbroken and sort of very cautiously excited. And I haven't seen this movie, and I won't see this movie. 80s X-Men, the Chris Claremont run, like all that stuff is like it's my favorite. I love it. I love it to death, and it just breaks my heart that this movie just kind of just ham-fistedly goes about it. They don't care. You go by billboards and it's like it's Apocalypse choking Mystique, and it's like, oh, you put that poster up there because Oscar Isaac and Jennifer Lawrence are hot right now. Like
Yeah.
they just are putting the actors. It reminds me a lot of the Resident Evil franchise, which totally deviated from anything that was Resident Evil pretty early on. And some people like those movies, and that's cool. But like, if you took the name off of it, would you identify that as being set in this universe?
So I think one of the major problems with the X-Men films is that they're very similar. Have you heard the Sonic cycle? So Sonic the Hedgehog games get announced, people get really excited, we find out more about them, people get a little less excited, we finally play them and we're like, that was bad, and then the cycle repeats.
Yeah.
And I feel like the X-Men, they're kind of in the same way where going into this one, we were like, they're doing the 90s costumes, they're doing a live action version of the animated series. Even we saw like the Ivan Ooze Purple Apocalypse thing, which was a running joke before that movie. Guess what? Having seen the Power Rangers film and having seen X-Men Apocalypse, those characters have the exact same origin story and arc. It's ridiculous. They literally do. It's a guy that like is buried in sand that gets up, gets a crack team of bad dudes together to fight the good dudes, and then whatever happens, happens. Literally the same character.
So I mean, it sucks that like the X-Men movies that they haven't really. I feel like they haven't really done a whole lot with the X-Men just kind of being. Like, they're supposed to be outcasts. They're supposed to be kind of like villains.
I agree.
And they spend so much of the time just treating them like action figures and throwing them at superheroes and stuff. But, like, X2 was so great because there's that whole scene where there's, like, the shootout and all the cops come out and then, like, Wolverine gets shot in the head and he's like, these aren't knives, they're stuck to my hands, you know? And I love that kind of stuff, and I love that they used to play with, like, the whole kind of the mutant oppression thing, and it's like, there's elements of it, but it's not really a core thing, and they're rushing to get to the big money shot stuff.
It's why I liked a lot of First Class as well, because it actually like at least grabbed a style and kind of exuded it a little bit.
First Class should have been a reboot. They could have done it there. The Wolverine, this one I don't even understand it. The Wolverine was the second Wolverine movie. They were basically pretending the first one didn't happen because that was a nightmare. The second one could have been great. They had an ace in the hole. All they had to do was loosely adapt Frank Miller and Chris Claremont's Wolverine standalone story where he goes to Japan and fights some ninjas. Instead, they open it up with a flashback to X-Men 3 with Famke Janssen showing up on screen as the Phoenix, reminding us that, oh right, they had Brett Ratner directing that one movie. That wasn't very good. Let's bring people back to that. Why not just scrap it? Just start fresh.
So I don't think this franchise is in a bad place because it's in a post-Avengers world. I think that's helping the fact that for all comic book movies. I think it's in a bad place because it's in a post-Deadpool world.
Yeah.
Deadpool's probably the best X-Men movie, and I never thought I'd be saying that in 2016.
No, they get Colossus. They don't just make him this dude who shows up for 30 seconds. I mean, they've got Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Here are two comics I recommend reading if you want to check out X-Men. First, New X-Men, Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely. This is fantastic. This came out right after the X-Men movies came out, and if you get this particular version of the trade paperback, it comes with this thing called the Morrison Manifesto, which is basically the pitch that Morrison gave, where he's pretty much like, let's make X-Men cool, let's make an X-Men comic that's kind of a reboot in the comic sense, but it doesn't try to operate like, oh, nobody knows who the X-Men are, let's sell it to them. It's like, people care about the X-Men. There's a line in here where he pretty much is like, let's just go back to the core stuff. Grab this and read this. And then, of course, speaking of Avengers, Joss Whedon did an incredible run. Astonishing X-Men, Volume 1. He did the first 4 volumes, and they're fantastic. You might have to read a little bit back into the new X-Men lines to make more sense of it. Here's what I would like to see. When I imagine an 80s X-Men movie, I imagine a combination of the following things, but, you know, with modern special effects and actors and all that. bear with me, please. Please. For starters, you got this kind of mismatched group of people. They maybe have some issues. They don't get along. Sounds a little bit like the Breakfast Club. You know, you've got the one smoking cigarettes with the bad attitude. Please, there we go. You got the annoying jock who know what he likes. You've got the weird goth girl. You got the popular redhead, and then there's the nerd who probably turns to blue fur later.
So from left to right here, we got Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Rogue, and Professor X, maybe?
No, that would be like Beast or Nightcrawler. Or
okay,
something.
I like that. I like that.
But yeah, and then of course you got to have a jet, so maybe throw in some Top Gun there. You know, combine it with Top Gun. They're in a school and they're competing and they're doing stuff that people in normal schools don't do, but they're still angsty teens. And then of course they're not accepted, so maybe they're kind of criminals like the Warriors, and they got cool costumes and they go out in the streets and they fight some people.
Yeah,
the Warriors
Cyrus.
look like the Morlocks. How cool would that be? And then, of course, there's some weird supernatural stuff going on. So throw in some Big Trouble in Little China. Maybe they're squaring off against some ancient evil who they don't know how to deal with, and maybe it's kind of slapstick, and maybe they get roped into stuff they don't understand. But again, you know, they got costumes because they're outcasts, and they got a jet, and they're angsty. I want an '80s X-Men movie that looks like it set in the '80s. You know, I mean,
I love that.
It breaks my heart.
I honestly think the only way to do that is to get a brand new director, get brand new actors, wipe the slate clean, and see where it goes from there. Speaking of wiping things clean, someone's gonna have to wipe Duke Nukem clean because we threw a turd around in that game. That's right, we played Duke Nukem Forever, where you can throw poop, and boy did we throw poop.
Hey, what's up, dirty boys and girls?
Welcome
it's your good
back
friends,
to Up at Noon.
Uncle Duck and Buck Buckham.
It's
we're
me,
playing.
Skunk
We're playing.
Dunkum, and I'm here to dunk out and do some bad messes.
This is Duck Scoville and Duck Tano, and we're here to play Duck Nukem Forever on the Duckbox 360.
No, we're playing Duke Nukem Forever. Thank you for watching. We decided to go back in the archives and pull out this old game because we love it. And also because a really awesome fan sent us some cool swag recently, promotional material for Duke Nukem Forever, such as this Duck Nukem koozie, and this, I'm about to hold this up. Get ready to cover your eyes. This is probably the most offensive thing we've ever done on the show. This is a real thing they put out for this game called Duck Nukem's Whizzle Tits. This is a urinal pad that you're supposed to put on the floor
to clarify,
of a urinal and pee all over.
They did a press event for Duke Nukem Forever,
Yeah.
in which they rented out a strip club in Las Vegas, and they called it Titty City. Did I say titty? I don't think I can say titty.
You did it.
Well, I said it, and then in the urinals, I'm told, I think,
Yeah.
they have these. So a friend of mine who worked at 2K sent this over.
Wait,
we can't tell if it's dirty or
Was that
used.
you? Did people?
I don't know.
Oh, I think they did Whizzle Tits on it.
Wow, so we've got a real life urinal pad, and then we've got Duck Nukem with his big butt.
Hey, big boys, check out my fat hunker. Quack, 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 quack.
Everybody needs a loop in their jeans to hold a hammer. Luckily, I buy my jeans at the Home Depot for my big dog butt.
All right, so we here on Up at Noon, we love to do challenges with games, new and old, and today's challenge is, is it possible to take this game seriously at all? Can we do that even once?
This game is not a good game. It falls apart, but it has one thing that I really wish more games have.
Yeah.
And that is the ability to pick up a turd.
Is that a thing we can do?
Yeah, we're going to do it right now.
All right.
Oh, wait, hold on. The rock and roll music is playing.
Everybody get pumped. It's time for electric guitar time.
Peekaboo,
poopy poo all over your rug. I know it's new.
It's time to eat Laffy Taffy and chuckle at the jokes and the rappers.
And I'm all out of Bubble Boys.
It's time to kick bottoms and eat some Tootsie Roll Pops and mail away for a bag of free ones, because I got the Indians shooting at the star. This is how this game starts.
Yeah.
You really...
Time to stop pissing around.
I'm tired to...
Can you pee on the floor?
What's funny is those don't even... This isn't even like an accurate
No, it's not even in the game.
I'm peeing all over my pants. Look at you can see his little boobs there.
Yeah, man, it's crazy to think that this game didn't do well and that this character has disappeared for so long. I don't know why that happened.
I'm Duke Nukem and I'm here in a sauna bath. Oh, the detonators. It's the Duke Nukem theme. Look at this. There's
what is this, like a football-themed bathtub?
No, you're in a football field. This is actually the end of Duke Nukem 3D. I'm like a pretty big fan of...
You're big on the on the lore.
I like the Duke. I really wish that we would get more Duke Nukem games that are just sort of surreal and self-aware. Where's the turd? I'm looking for the poop. I'm trying to find a big donkey log so I can pick it up with my hands.
Yeah, he's
There's the turd. I found the poop.
This is basically gaming's Gran Torino.
I've got a poopy hand.
The kids
Look at
tried
this.
to wreck my
No,
car.
this is great. You can throw a poop around.
A big tard.
Where's the poop? I get an ego boost from throwing a poop.
Why is your ego going up?
Because I threw a poop.
This is disgusting. You can grab that?
Chimpanzee.
Am I a monkey man? I'm throwing my turds. I'm going to see if I can get it on that towel.
What kind of adult man throws a turd all over a bathroom dedicated to a fake sports team? I do.
I'm a bad... Look at it. Did he have a temper tantrum and smash
Mirror,
a mirror?
mirror on the wall. It's sharts.
Why am I doing this?
Why am I'm a dirty man? Like, I love this. I love that you can pick up a poop and
Throw
throw
it in that guy's face.
Of course I'm going to throw it at this guy's face. So, this is the Up and Noon Challenge. The challenge is... Who cares? We're throwing poop.
So the turd just keeps coming back to you with more extra turd stuff on
It's an
it.
incredibly dense turd. I gotta get...
It's the turd that keeps giving. There you go.
No, what am I doing?
I don't
buddy.
know. My life is falling apart.
I think that there may be... I think you can maybe carry the achievement, the
He
turtle
said,
around and get an achievement.
he said want to add something to the whiteboard.
Yeah, this is actually pretty funny, too.
Does it not work?
No, you,
Oh, but you can't throw a turd.
So you can draw whatever you want.
Really? Can you draw a pengu?
Of course, that's exactly what they expect you to draw.
Okay.
But you can just draw like random stuff, and the guy will be like, "That's great, Duke. This is really cool. Good job."
It's a weird pengu, but nice work. Strange pangus. All right, let's go throw that turd again some more.
Yeah, where's the turd?
So this game is a relic. They were working on this game for so long.
12 years.
12 years they were working on this game, which they don't actually say that in the box.
I hope in The Last Guardian you can pick up poop and throw it.
Yeah.
You know what?
The Duke likes to get his leather real worked up before he does a stuff on it. Yeah.
Bodacious add-on content.
You know who's gonna really hate this video is our producer, Zachary.
Man, look at this. Look at this art. It's just so garish.
So I have the collector's edition strategy guide.
Did you finish this game?
No.
No?
No.
Really?
No, I never finished it.
Huh.
I probably should
surprised
at some
about that.
point. I should go back and play it all. But I played most of it. But yeah, it's just real bad. It kind of it honestly made me sad because I think I just went back and played Duke Nukem 3D again, which I really love. Hey, buddy. Oh, you have a poopy.
I want you to find. You have 60 seconds to find the best thing to throw that tard at. Take that big wet turd and just hunk it at something. Is that just a dude's leg? Are you running?
No. Oh, cool. You can zoom in with the turd. I got 60 seconds. What's my clock right now?
It's in my head.
Oh, really? So there's never actually been a real time limit?
No.
You're just pretending to count?
Yeah.
I think I can go out here.
Yeah.
Where's the robot or the bad man? Oh, here's what you're gonna do.
Oh, you can put it in the water fountain? Where did it go?
Look, it's like all clean now. It's not even a dirty. It's not even a dirty turd.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I'm drinking the poopy water. Yeah, so this game was not received well by anybody.
That's the worst!
One guy tried to tell me that the game wasn't that bad, and they fixed it on the PC version by making it so you could carry 4 weapons.
You're drinking poop water in this game.
This is a game where you could just look at that thumb.
Stop it!
That looks like Megan Fox's thumbs. All right, so anyway, this is the Up and Noon Challenge. I don't know what the challenge was, but we played with the poop.
If the challenge was drink poop water, we did it. Sorry that you had to see that. Aren't you glad that video games got better? Thanks for watching. Don't do any of these things that you saw today. Oh.
Hey, how's it going?
Awful, awful man.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was just the worst. I feel actually nauseous from seeing that.
I thought it was fun.
Just
I
the
like
whole
that.
idea of getting the turd all over the other.
Not enough games that you pick up poop and throw it around. It's pretty funny you can do that.
Yeah,
Saints Row
that's
2
true.
had a great bit where you drove a truck around with poop in it and you sprayed the poop at houses to make their property value go down.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty cool.
Max, this weekend's gonna be awesome. Why is that?
Because I'm going to visit my mother. Because it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What? Don't throw pizza at me.
It's my job.
Just don't do that. Because Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows is coming out.
Yeah. IGN's review went up last night at midnight. We gave it a 6.5. That's actually kind of more on the nicer side. Sure, just get it all out. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's at a 30% right now. Not great, but
Oh wow, it was a 31% when I clicked on this. It just went down.
It's
yeah.
dropping. I gotta be honest with you. I don't care. I'm gonna see this movie no matter
so
what.
we've done a lot on the show where we basically run down reviews for stuff. We did that. We did one with Batman v Superman. We're
Yeah,
like,
we did.
oh, critics are tearing it apart. And
We did Warcraft last week.
Yeah. So in this case, we didn't do that. But basically, like, I mean, we're kind of like, we seem like we're maybe relishing the negative reviews. And then maybe it's hypocritical to be like, oh, this movie's getting negative reviews. That's great. But no, here's the thing. This movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Out of the Shadows. It is a film in which a talking rhinoceros wearing a hat drives a tank.
Yep.
And a bunch of turtles fight in front of product placements.
Yeah, and a homeless guy wearing sporting equipment beats up a bunch of ninjas.
Yes. So Ninja Turtles, I don't mean to offend anybody, Ninja Turtles has always been stupid.
Yep.
It's always been a dumb thing.
And that's why it's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, it's meant to be taken not seriously. Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird were, they got their start basically just goofing around and being like, you know what you never see, a turtle with nunchucks. And they were like, huh, that's actually kind of cool. Let's make a series out of it. And the whole thing was basically a parody of Daredevil and the New Mutants and, Frank Miller's Ronin. So to see people trying to be like, this is a travesty, this is a dumb movie. Like, yes, there's a rhinoceros driving a tank, you idiots.
On a highly personal level, I saw the original Ninja Turtles and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, in theaters dozens of times. I think just people either faked it or actually did have real birthdays at the time. And that was the thing to do back in the day, was like you and like 10 of your friends would go to a birthday party at a movie theater, and you'd have cake before and you'd have candy afterwards, and you would go see the
diabetes
Turtles.
And
Yeah, you get to see the Turtles beat people up. And in 2nd or 3rd grade, when Secret of the Ooze came out, I remember being so excited for it, and then getting to the theater and realizing that Toka and Razor were bootleg versions of Bebop and Rocksteady because they couldn't get the rights. And I dealt with it. I bought the toys. The action figures were awesome. They were rubbery and fleshy and gross, and
we're
they had
getting
like
Bebop and
alopecia.
Rocksteady for real.
Yeah, we're getting those characters for the first time ever. We're getting Krang, who, like, honestly,
Krang in a movie.
That's insane that people aren't just throwing up watching this guy on screen for the first time. He's a giant robot baby in underwear with a living brain inside of his belly that's constantly spilling out. That's awesome.
Hey, so let me read a few sound bites here. San Francisco Chronicle, Peter Hartlaub, who probably is right down the street from us right now, he says, your 11-year-old is going to love this film. And he'll grow up and wonder what he was thinking. Nuh-uh! Or what about inner 8-year-olds? We're stupid and we never grew up. I mean, like, this is a movie, maybe you get drunk and go see it and have a good time. I saw the first one immediately after Guardians of the Galaxy while overcoming jet lag and coming down with food poisoning. I left that movie and I went and had a Secret of the Ooze myself. Really just, I'm okay with this being a bad, dumb movie. Like, I'm okay with this being stupid. The first one was whatever. G.I. Joe, the first movie, was just unapologetically stupid and terrible and bad in all the wrong ways. The second one was like, let's make it dumber and see if that works, and it works. Look at this. They're fighting a rhino.
So I think the main thing here is we're over the idea of Megan Fox as April O'Neil. We were mad about that a few years ago. I'm okay with it now. We're over the Ninja Turtles and their articles of flair and their weird nostrils.
I don't care,
I was
it's
mad about
fine.
it a few years ago. Totally okay with it now. Just throw me more of these movies every 2 years. Give me the Rat King. Give me Ace Duck.
Give me
Mondo
Mutagen Man.
Gecko.
Yeah.
Just make all these weird living man-animal mutant
Teenage
monsters.
Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows not only recognizes nostalgia, but directly exploits it. That's fine.
Yep.
No kidding. That's what Ninja Turtles has always kind of done. Sometimes
Exactly.
they push it forward. Like, apparently New Comics are really good from IDW, but like, it's always going to be sort of polishing a turd with that series. It's okay if it's dumb and stupid, if this is a big 2-hour toy commercial full of product placement. I'm fine with that.
Ninja Turtles has always been dumb and goofy, and that's why we love it.
Also,
and this movie's going to be great.
The second you realize what Michael Bay is doing, it's okay. Just get over that hurdle that maybe you don't like his movies and realize that he's actually technically very skilled. Also, he didn't direct this, he just produced it. So he yelled at people and then they directed it. So
And that's pretty much our show.
that's all the show for today.
We did it. We got some questions on Twitter. Maybe we can get to one or two of them.
Sorry.
I have a question. Max, what's going on with you? Are you contagious?
I've got Wynn's disease.
Can people catch it?
I don't know. I'm getting over something. I was in the ocean in Greece. I got some stuff in my face.
What'd you get in, like some snails and crabs?
I got some snails in my face.
Okay.
Like little tiny snails.
Richard Burnan says, what do you think of Disney Star Wars distribution? First digital 2 weeks before the Blu-ray, and now no 3D version so far.
Totally sucks.
Yeah.
Like really poorly handled on kind of every front. It's weird because I love the new movies, but I hate how they're being merchandised and kind of every front, you know? Like the comics are really good. Marvel's doing a great job with the comics, but like the fact that there was no just like one singular Blu-ray release that had all the stuff you wanted. The fact that there was no extended cut, or at least like, I mean, I got the Amazon version where it's just like an extra 2 hours of content after the fact.
It's the movie, and then the credits roll, and then they show a making of documentary and deleted scenes all in a row.
The last thing
which is like, remember in the 90s when we had DVDs
Dude,
with menus?
The last thing I saw that on was Austin Powers on VHS.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
figure it out.
so I'm not wild about it. In terms of the 3D version, I don't have a 3D TV. Maybe
Yeah.
someday. We'll see if that's a thing that I'll be into. I don't know if that window has closed, if that ship has sailed, as they say.
Yeah.
The ship has sailed through the window. Coming up next, you might see something else sail through a window, and that's that wonderful lady from Mirror's Edge, because IGN Plays Live is continuing right after this. Mark Medina will be playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst. We've been watching that game for a very long time, so I'm very fascinated to see how it turned out. We have it in the office. That's crazy. It looks gorgeous, and Faith is going to jump through some windows and kick some bad boys. So be sure to check that out right after this. Thank you so much for watching Up at Noon. You can throw it. You can throw it. Yeah. Oh, you got him.
Yeah,
you got him.
take that.
We threw some pizza at
Squad.
you at home. I hope your mouth was open and it went right in there, and you're also hungry.
I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back next week with, oh crap, E3's week after that.
Oh my God, E3.
We're not back next week.
We're not back next week.
What are we doing next week?
We're live from E3 on
Oh,
Sunday.
oh, we should probably promote that.
Oh yeah, we're doing an E3 live show the Sunday right before E3. We're bringing a bunch of crazy friends that you might have seen on the show
Live
before.
frog.
Not gonna bring a live frog.
Yep.
No, we
We
can't.
can find one right
No,
now.
we can't bring that on the plane.
Get my net. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching.